of detritus. Now we are doing a Kirigami presentation by artist Vijayalayan. Now I request Professor Manju Arjunan to introduce the speaker. Thank you.
Jabin, before that we'll have the inaugural address by Principal Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I request our beloved Principal, Professor Shashank Chakradev, to give a deliver speech for the World Architecture Day virtual session, sir.
Thank you all. Good morning, all the students who are aspiring to become architects. Good morning to faculty and friends. Happy World Architecture Day to all of you. Today we have organized this event for the aspirants so that they will come to know about architecture. So they will tune in with architecture as such. This being one of the important days for all architects, which happens to coincide with the UN Habitat Day also. World Architecture Day is celebrated on first Monday of October month every year. And every year there is a theme also that is mentioned by the Union of Architects, International Architects. And this year's theme is towards a better urban future. So with the theme, basically this World Architecture Day celebration helps to put a focus on humanity as such, and architecture and urban design. These are the keys to a better quality of life for the entire population over the world. So definitely by celebrating this day, we are able to appreciate the architects who are instrumental in creating good architecture as such, and specifically architecture for the humanity and those who are in pain and those who are homeless. Many of the architects are taking efforts to create low-cost houses for the world population. So this is definitely a very important day for all the architect fraternity, and what a better day that we can have to introduce the new aspirants to architecture. So I welcome the artists Sunil and artist Vijayan to bring these newcomers into the architecture domain. Since art being the primary foundation for architecture, we have organized the presentation related to artwork only, because architecture they will learn once they come into architecture. So I welcome Vijayan to begin his presentation, and I request the moderators to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Manju Arjunan to introduce the speaker.
Artist Vijayalayan, he worked as a studio instructor in Marg Institute of Design and Architecture from the year 2011 to 2015. And he has worked in trainer for painter in Reunion Island in the year 2015 to 2016. After that, he is continuous artist training, artist studio instructor in Midas. He has got teaching in South Indian Temple art specializations, basic stucco sculpture, and he has got projects and award funded by the government of Tamil Nadu for the Tanjavur Bell Tower, and also the Danish boat miniature model at Tarangambadi, which is constructed completely by the material teak wood. It's a funded project from the Tamil Nadu Archaeology Department. He has got first prize during his education time in technical drawing and painting. We welcome Vijayalayan to begin the session of Kirigami. Before that, we will give small introduction about Kirigami. So Kirigami, it is similar to origami. It's a craft of cutting the paper to derive a design. And unlike origami, it is like, you have folding and also a little bit of cutting and everything. So this webinar, its focus is on thin sheets, which is folded with hierarchical pattern of cuts, and to form an array of inch squares to develop a form of a building or staircase or any other models of architectures. You have some examples. It's a cube model. which is a pop-up sculpture by Peter Diamond. And you have a curvilinear model, it's again by Peter Diamond, and angular lines and wavy patterns, which is used in the mostly in the pop-up cards, and 3D projections, which is the cuboid projections in the greeting cards. Now the session will be handed over by Vijayalayan.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, all. So, தேவையான மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கட்டிங் போர்டு, பேப்பர், கார்ட்போர்டு, சார்ட் பேப்பர், எனி ஜிஎஸ்எம் ஷீட், இந்த மாதிரி நீங்கள் எதை வேணால் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். மெட்டாலிக் ஸ்கேல் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்கள். ஸோ பிளாஸ்டிக் ஸ்கேல் யூஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னா நீங்கள் கட்டர் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது நிறைய டேமேஜ் ஆகும், உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்பராக நீங்கள் கட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ நீங்கள் மெட்டாலிக் ஸ்கேல் யூஸ் பண்ணுறது பெட்டர். பென்சில், நார்மல் பென்சில் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. பென்சில் நல்லா ஷார்ப் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. எரேசர் அண்ட் கட்டரும் நியூ கட்டர் யூஸ் பண்ணுறது மஸ்ட்டு. சரிங்களா? நெக்ஸ்ட் இப்போ ஒரு 2D டிராயிங்ல எப்படி 3Dயை கன்வெர்ட் பண்றதுங்கிறதுக்கு கிரிகாமி நமக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். கிரிகாமி மெத்தட் வச்சு நம்ம 2D டிராயிங்கை 3Dயை கன்வெர்ட் பண்றதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றோம். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு ஷீட்ல டாப்ல 3 சென்டிமீட்டர் பை 5 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு ஒரு லெஃப்ட் சைட் டாப்ல நீங்க ஒரு டிராயிங் பண்ணிடுங்க. சரிங்களா? நெக்ஸ்ட் டிராயிங்க்கு பக்கத்துலேயே அந்த பாக்ஸ் பக்கத்துல 1 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு கண்டினியூஸா லைன்ஸ் ட்ரா பண்ணிட்டே வாங்க. ஸோ டவுன் பண்ணிட்டே வரணும் ஒரு லைனா. லைன் பண்ணி முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல போட்ட அந்த பாக்ஸுக்கு கீழே 0.5 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு ஸ்டெப்பை ஹாரிசாண்டல்ல நீங்க ட்ரா பண்ணி ஸ்டெப்ஸை நீங்க வந்து ரெடியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டே வரணும், டவுன் பண்ணிட்டு. ஆனால் அதோட ஹைட் வந்து டிஃப்ரெண்ட் மாற்றக்கூடாது, 3 சென்டிமீட்டர். ஸோ ஹைட் மட்டும் அதே ஹைட்டு, ஆனால் லெவல் மட்டும் நீங்க 0.5 சென்டிமீட்டர் டவுன் பண்ணிட்டே வாங்க. லாஸ்டா வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் லாஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப்ஸுக்கு கீழே 0.5 சென்டிமீட்டர் வச்சு 6 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு ரைட் டு லெஃப்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு லைன் ட்ராயிங் பண்ணி லைன் போட்டுட்டு, இப்போ ஒரு 3 சென்டிமீட்டர் பை 5 சென்டிமீட்டர் ஒரு பாக்ஸ் பண்ணோம்ல, ஸோ அதுக்கு கீழே 1 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு ஒரு டவுன்ல ஒரு லைன் எடுங்க. அந்த லைனும் இங்கே 6 சென்டிமீட்டர் லைனையும் ஒரு ஆர்க் ஷேப்ல ஒரு லைன் பண்ணுங்க. லைன் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் 2, நீங்க அந்த வெர்டிக்கல் லைன் மட்டும் ஸ்கேல் கட்டரை வச்சு நீங்க கட் பண்ணணும். கட் பண்ணும்போது கேப்ல கட் பண்ணுங்க. ஸோ ஸ்கேல் யூஸ் பண்ணாம கட் பண்ணாதீங்க, அப்பதான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஸ்ட்ரைட் லைன் கரெக்டா இருக்கும். ஸோ ஒவ்வொரு வெர்டிக்கல் லைனும் நீங்க வந்து ஸ்கேல் வச்சு கட் பண்ணுங்க. அப்புறம் நம்ம ஒரு ஆர்க் வரைஞ்சோம்ல, ஸோ அதையும் நீங்க கட்டரில் ஃப்ரீ ஹேண்ட்ல நீங்க கட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் கட் பண்ணி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் தேர்ட் ஸ்டெப், ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டெப்ஸா நீங்க ஃபிங்கர்ல ஹோல்ட் பண்ணி அதை மடக்கி விட்டுக்கிட்டே வரணும். இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்படி இருக்கும். ஸோ ஒவ்வொருத்தையும் ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப்பா நீங்க ஹோல்ட் பண்ணி மடக்கிட்டு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு ஸ்டேர்கேஸ் ஃபைனல் மாடல். உங்களுக்கு அவுட்புட் இந்த மாதிரி வரும். இதுல ஏதாவது டவுட் இருக்கா?
Participants, if you have any doubt in this model, you can ask questions. You can use raise your hand button also, or you can type in chat box.
சார் கனெக்ட் ஆகுது, பழைய இஷ்யூ தான் காமிக்குது சார்.
Now we will move on to the next session of the Kirigami video.
Now I'm going to show pyramid. Pyramid எப்படி பண்றதுன்னு இப்போ பார்க்கலாம். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒரு சார்ட் பேப்பர்ல ஷீட்டோட சென்டர் லைன் எடுங்க. ஸோ சென்டர் லைன் எடுத்தால் தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து கரெக்டாக சென்டரில் உங்களுக்கு வரும். இல்லைனா நீங்கள் சைடில் லைன் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு பிரமிடு அவ்வளோ கரெக்டாக பண்ண முடியாது. சரிங்களா? ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. ஸோ சென்டர் லைன் எடுத்துட்டு சென்டர் லைனோட டாப்பில் 1 சென்டிமீட்டர் பை 1 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு ஒரு ஸ்மால் சைஸ் பாக்ஸ் ஒன்று ட்ரா பண்ணுங்க. முடிச்சுட்டு கீழே ஒரு பேஸ் லைன், உங்களுடைய கிரவுண்ட் லைன் வந்து ட்ரா பண்ணுங்க. மேம் நீங்கள் ப்ளே பண்ணி விட்டுருங்க. நான் பேசி கிரவுண்ட் லைன் நான் 6 சென்டிமீட்டர் ஒரு சைடுக்கு 6 சென்டிமீட்டர் எடுத்துருக்கேன். ஸோ டோட்டல் 12 சென்டிமீட்டர் பாட்டம் லைனு. ஸோ பாட்டம் லைன் எடுத்துட்டு இங்கே டாப்பில் இருக்கிற அந்த பாக்ஸ் லைன்லேருந்து பாக்ஸோட பாட்டம்ல இருக்க கார்னர்ல இருந்து கீழே இருக்க நம்ம ஹாரிசான்டல் லைனை நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ சிமிலரா ரைட் சைடு லெஃப்ட் சைடு ரெண்டு சைடுமே நீங்க காமனா கனெக்ட் பண்ணணும். கனெக்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் டாப்ல இங்க பேஸ் லைன்ல இருந்து ஒரு வெர்டிக்கல் லைன் 90 டிகிரி ஆங்கிளுக்கு ஒரு லைன் எடுங்க. இப்போ டாப்ல இருக்க அந்த பாக்ஸ்ல இருந்து அந்த ரெண்டு லைனை கனெக்ட் பண்ணணும். நீங்க அந்த லைன் வந்து ஒரு 8 சென்டிமீட்டர் ஆர் 10 சென்டிமீட்டர் நீங்க பாட்டம் லைன்ல இருந்து நீங்க எடுத்தா போதும். ஸோ பாக்ஸ்ல இருந்து 1 சென்டிமீட்டர் கேப் வச்சு நீங்க ஸ்டிப்பா நீங்க லைன் ட்ரா பண்ணணும். நீங்க 0.5 வச்சீங்கன்னா இன்னும் மோர் லெவல் கிடைக்கும். ஸோ நான் உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்குங்கிறதுக்காக நான் 1 சென்டிமீட்டர்ல போட்டிருக்கேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த வெர்டிக்கல் லைனை ஹாரிசான்டல் லைனா கனெக்ட் பண்ணணும். மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு லெவலும் நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டே வரணும். கனெக்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் சென்டர்ல பாக்ஸா உங்களுக்கு லெவல் இருக்கும். ஸோ அது இந்த கார்னர் மட்டும் நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ணணும். கார்னர் கனெக்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு பாக்ஸோட லெவல்ஸ் ஒவ்வொரு லெவலும் உங்களுக்கு வந்து மெஷர் பண்ணும். இதுதான் கொஞ்சம் எல்லாருமே மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணுவாங்க. லெவல்ஸ் எப்படி எடுக்கணும்னா இங்க லெஃப்ட் சைட்ல இப்போ ரைட் சைட்லயும் ரெண்டு சைட்லயும் உங்களுக்கு இப்போ லாஸ்டா நம்ம கனெக்ட் பண்ணுவோம்ல, அதோட டிஸ்டன்ஸ் மார்க் பண்ணணும். டிஸ்டன்ஸ் நீங்க ஸ்கேல்ல மெஷர் எடுத்துங்க. ஒவ்வொருட லெவலும் சேஞ்ச் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். இப்போ நார்மலா 1 சென்டிமீட்டர் இருக்குன்னா அடுத்த பாக்ஸ் 1.2 இருக்கும், 1.3 இருக்கும். ஸோ அது நீங்க ஒவ்வொரு பாக்ஸுக்குமே நீங்க மெஷர் பண்ணி தான் நீங்க டாட் பண்ணணும். நீங்க மெஷர் பண்ணாம நீங்க பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஹோல்ட் பண்ணும்போது உங்களுக்கு வராது, கரெக்டான ஒரு உங்களுக்கு பிரமிட் வராது. லைனுமே நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. இப்போ நம்ம டாட் வச்ச அந்த லைன்ஸ் எல்லாமே ஹாரிசான்டலா நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ணணும். அந்த வெர்டிக்கல் லைனை எல்லாமே நீங்க கட்டர் வச்சு ஸ்கேல் யூஸ் பண்ணி நீங்க கட் பண்ணுங்க. ஹாரிசான்டல் லைன் மட்டும் நீங்க கட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஹாரிசான்டல் லைனை நீங்க ஒரு எழுதாத பெண்ணோ இல்ல ஏதாவது கொஞ்சம் ஷார்ப்பான ஒரு மெட்டீரியல் வச்சு ஜஸ்ட் நீங்க ஸ்கோர் பண்ணா போதும். இப்போ நீங்கள் பார்க்குற மாதிரி அதில் இருக்க மாதிரியே நீங்கள் கட் பண்ணணும் ஒவ்வொரு சைடும். ஒன்லி வெர்டிக்கல் லைன் மட்டும்தான் கட் பண்ணணும். கட் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்கள் அந்த ஹாரிசான்டல் லைனை ஸ்கோர் பண்ணுங்க.
But Vijayanan, they want us to be in English also. See, these vertical lines to be cut, right? And then horizontal lines to be like folded.
நீங்கள் ஸ்கோர் பண்ணும்போது தான் உங்களுக்கு ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணுறது ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். டேரெக்டாக நீங்கள் ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணிங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு பேப்பர்ஸ் டேமேஜ் ஆகும், உங்களுக்கு கரெக்ட் அக்யூரேட்டாக உங்களுக்கு ஃபோல்ட் ஆகாது. பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப்பாக நீங்கள் ஃபிங்கர் வச்சு ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணுங்கள்.
So you can fold one step and the other step very slowly and use a scoring line pattern and then do step by step.
நீங்கள் ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணும்போது சைடில் இருக்க அந்த ஸ்டிப்லாம் டேமேஜ் ஆகாமல் ஸ்லோவாக பண்ணணும். இப்போ நீங்கள் கிரவுண்ட் லைன் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு லாஸ்ட்டு லெவலுக்கும் மேலே ஒரு லைன் வரும், அது 7.5 சென்டிமீட்டர் வரும். அதை நீங்கள் ஸ்கேல் வச்சு மெஷர் பண்ணிவிட்டு நீங்கள் ஒரு லைன் எடுத்துட்டு நீங்கள் அந்த லைன் மட்டும் நீங்கள் பண்ணணும். ஜஸ்ட்டு அதை மட்டும் நீங்கள் ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணணும். டோட்டலாக நீங்கள் ஃபோல்ட் பண்ணிங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு பிரமிடு டேமேஜ் ஆகும். Final output உங்களுக்கு தெரியும்.
So without glue, we have made a pyramid just using the scoring of the lines. So I will repeat the steps. See, first thing is like you need to make a square box and then draw a center line in the paper, and then you need to draw another line here and then join the midpoint to the end of that line, and here from here join the midpoint of the square to the end of that line, and then you can have subdivisions in the paper as is shown, and then draw vertical lines and then join the horizontal lines. This is the horizontal lines, the steps whatever you are forming it. And then we need to use the scoring methods for the folding. Just make a line in the cutter. That's it.
Can you show it from sides?
Yes, sir.
So that they will understand. Can you show the model from side?
Yes, sir.
Can,
I'll show, sir.
Yeah, you show, no? Vijayalan.
Then only it will be understood. See, it is hollow from side, so from front it appears is solid. That's how it is possible to fold. If you can collapse it, yeah.
Collapse it and then show that straight line, straight page, Vijayalan.
Thank you.
So only when the sites we are removing this, the steps projections part out. Other things we are just using the scoring method to make the pyramid. If you have any doubt, you can ask us. We can repeat also. Anyone has a doubt?
If participants has any doubt, please use the raise your hand button. You can unmute yourself after we announce the name and you can ask your questions. While asking the question, kindly please unmute yourself.
So this is the final output of the pyramid. We have some other examples also. Vijayalen, continue.
It's a big size staircase. Another type of roof elevation. Next one. The demo building. Building roof, staircase type roof, sloping roof. It's the same techniques.
Vijayalen, you're not audible.
கேக்குதா மேம்?
Yeah.
இங்க front elevationக்கு Kirigami method very useful. உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சவங்களுக்கு நீங்க ஒரு எலிவேஷனை நீங்க பாப்அப் டைப்ல நீங்க கார்டு மாதிரி ஒரு கிரீட்டிங் கார்டு மாதிரி நீங்களே ரெடி பண்ணலாம் இந்த பில்டிங் மாடல் வச்சு. எனி பில்டிங் மாடல் எலிவேஷன் மட்டும் நீங்க எவாலுவேட் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு 3D டைப்ல நீங்க ரெடி பண்ணலாம்.
Maybe we can use this to use as a greeting card to wish World Architecture Day. I think this is one of the best way to do that. Wishes.
In this roof pattern, the same technique of the steps pattern, whatever we used in the first slide, is given here. These are some of the works of the MEDA students where they've done basic design exercise, a pop-up of slice forms. And they have replicated all the buildings in the form of pop-up, in a form of Kirigami, in the first year works of basic design. If you have any doubt, we can ask the speaker. Guys, Jabin, you can repeat any doubt.
Yes, participants, if you have any doubt, you can unmute yourself and ask your doubt. Vijayalen sir, can you please show us one small demo on the curved surface, kind of some cylindrical popped out model, something like that? Or the spiral staircase, how to make such work in Kirigamis?
Kirigami, the spiral model a little difficult, ma'am.
Okay.
Only elevation or small size projection you can create, ma'am.
Okay, cool.
So this is only cutting and folding, ma'am. Glue use பண்ணீங்கன்னா நீங்க உங்களுக்கு 3D ஒரிஜினல் 3D உங்களுக்கு வரும். ஸோ இது வந்து ஒரு ப்ரொஜெக்ஷன் மட்டும் தான் இது. இதுக்கு glue யூஸ் பண்ணாம பண்ணும்போது
Yeah, I can understand. Does
No.
anyone has any other doubts? Can we move on to the next session then? Hello, ma'am. Can we move on to the next session?
Yeah, ma'am, I can start with the video. Then I can
Yeah, okay.
try to
So before that, thank you, Vijayalyan sir, for this presentation and the models you have shared by our students and also by you. It's really inspiring us, and I think participants also try any of these models, and we are very happy to receive it, and we are very happy to post in our social media pages also. So you can try out something like this very creatively, and even aspirants can try this out as you have a very lot of time. So you can create it, and you can wish your architecture aspirants or any architects who is guiding you, and you can wish them by doing such innovative models. And thank you so much, Vijayalyan sir.
Thank you,
Now
ma'am.
I
Thank you.
request Professor Manju Arjunan to introduce our next speaker, Artist Sunil Sri.
He's finished his Bachelor of Fine Arts in Government College of Fine Arts in Chennai in the year 2005 and MFA in the same college in the year 2007. And he has got research grant scholarship for painting from Lalit Kala Academy in the year 2008 to 2009. He's conducted several exhibitions. One among that show at Apparao Gallery in the 2012, Under the Skin. It is organized in the Bangalore and several art fairs like Indian Art Fair in New Delhi in the year 2020 and then in the year 2012 and United Art Fair in the year 2012 and workshops and camps in Chennai Museum in the year 2006 and he worked with Institute of Mural Painting in Guruvayur in the year 2006 and he's a regional artist in print making camp which is conducted by Lalit Kala Academy in Kerala and also in Chennai. We welcome you, sir, for the session on art installation on trees.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. I find a lot of technical challenges, and thank you for everyone for waiting and making a wait. Sorry, and I'll go to the section. I'll try to demonstrate a video where. Okay.
Sir, your video is not on.
Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah, ma'am. Hope you are seeing the video.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will introduce myself. Like I do more of a detritus work. The term detritus itself is it's waste. The term means waste. So we get through all these waste materials every day, like starting from small tickets and which we use in our packets while traveling, and start from everything. So every day, as consumers, we use a lot of materials and we just throw it off. So every time, randomly, as daily, we may create like 200 grams of or 1 kg of waste, which we use regularly. We write something on the paper and we throw it off. So So my idea for the last 10 years is working on a writer. So I choose materials with specific meaning or specific understanding. So and a visual conveying. So I choose to work with first initially a train ticket. If possible, I will show the slides also. So I don't get into the convention where I do watercolor or acrylic color and all those things. Instead of I come to all these materials to work upon. So I'll show a small video where I use a small square wood piece of 30 cm by 30 cm. And over that, I choose a small piece of paper. Here, what I am trying to emphasize is the contour. Contour is where the skyline of the landscapes. So instead of doing or drawing a mountain, I start working with papers, rough papers, and I will shade or color with different colors. Then instead of drawing a line, I will tear the paper. So I will get the edges is a different texture and precisely as a skyline. So this is a process where I am doing, like I will shade and to bring, and I will draw the edges. Instead of drawing, I will tear the paper. So it will create a difference between the plain area and the background. So I use generally fevicols and rough papers and wood. So I have done large scale works. For this is for a demonstration purpose. You can see a small size work. This is 25 cm by 20 cm wood. And usually I will color the background, but this time I'm not using background because I like the grains of the wood. So I'm trying to use the grains of the wood.
Sunil sir?
Yeah, hope everyone is watching, right? It's viewable, right? Hello? Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So particularly when I'm working with the layers, I will look into actually the small differences, like how I use the intensity, how I am doing the strokes. It looked like very rough strokes. I get to get some clear understanding how the stroke should be and what are the scales of the strokes and all those things. And between the lines also, I try to play a little like how I am looking into it, like with the small details. So now you can see the layers I'm working. First is the lighter, and then I start giving some depth. So you can interpret it. Any viewer can interpret their own way of understanding this visual. So I'm not specific about any of this references. I go take some photograph and I don't copy it. It is just a visual image where I get to travel around. I go by bus or anything, and I get to see all this images, and it is in my mind. So I start to deliver it by just a random method. So the tiering part I do by layers, like what is the first layer? So how much distance I should understand in those things. So I will be very very attentive in those particular details. So I'll be using large canvas 4 feet or 5 feet of the same. So this is very small piece, and where in my works you can get to see like 4 feet or 5 feet. I do the same processes. So this is the final detail where you can see the specific outdoor outlines, the contour outlines, and the intensity between them. And it has a replica of like getting the details of the nature. Yeah, thank you. And so if possible, I will show the slides. So if you have any questions on this, you can ask me. I'm trying to show the slides after this.
Participants, if you have any doubt, kindly use the raise your hand button and unmute yourself so that you can ask your questions.
Sir, we can continue with the presentation, sir.
No, ma'am, give me 2 minutes. So if
audio connection
Participants, kindly mute yourself. So if you have any network glitches, if you need any support from us, kindly drop a message in the chat box. We will definitely help you out. Sunil sir, can you able to share the presentation?
I think just another 1 minute we'll wait. It's connecting another system.
Okay. So even after this presentation, if you have any doubts while you're trying some of the models, you can send us email or contact number is available. We will share you that number. You can ask your doubts and get clarified so that you can make some amazing models. So you are allowed to call us any time to discuss with any of our faculties. So participants, if anyone joined without giving your proper name, kindly join in again with your proper name so that will help us to generate the certificate.
yeah, so, sorry, ma'am, I'm not able to show the presentation. So if you have any doubts on this works demonstration, we can discuss on that.
Okay. So participants, if you have any doubts, you can ask him now.
And if you want to see more of my works, you can watch on like www.sunilshree.com. So anytime you can ask me doubts this through the chat.
Yes.
and you can watch the works. And I'm really sorry what has happened, and some technical glitch, and
No problem, sir. It happens. So it's cool. I think participants will understand your situation.
Chat box layer able to post it.
yeah, sir.
So if you can try in chat box, I can do, or WhatsApp also I can open it. Without the video, you can send the slide. Only images also I can do it. Participants, we apologize for the delay in today's sessions with the technical error. We had enough trial, but it is unfortunately happened. We regret for the inconvenience.
Manju ma'am, is the presentations getting shared?
No, ma'am, I can't do it now because it's not connecting. Because it's a heavy file also.
Okay.
So it have 18 slides or 20 slides.
Okay, then Manju ma'am, can we wind it out? Manju ma'am, can you hear me?
Can I open your website directly? You can show me where is it? We can present it. Sunil sir?
Ma'am, I think he's facing some serious network issues. He couldn't able to join
ma'am,
us.
you can open it on site. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll open the website, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can show 4 slides on this. Then you can shift to 2009, ma'am. On the
Okay, sir.
Instagram page. This is Instagram page. Okay. So actually, this is the. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And
There's always some possible ways. Thank you, Manju ma'am.
Okay. Continue, sir.
Actually, this is the same work which I've done done with paper and pigments. Instead of graphite, and now I've used charcoal. Charcoal instead of charcoal, I have used pigments. Pigments is generally poster color thing, kind of poster color thing. So here also you can see like a layer of papers, and in between I have left some space to make it a better composition. And the layers is like my thought is to make a reflection out of what I've made on the top. So from that, I'm making a reflection on the trying to put a not an exact reflection, it is a sort of reflection. Next, ma'am. Okay. The same work, but here I don't left any of this space between the work. So it is again a sort of reflection which we closely see on the water reflections or kind close reflections. And every time when I get to travel or see the images, it is a kind of cognition, like the memories I get through the travels, and I take the freedom of omitting sequences, and I may include sequences also. And the material I used is like just papers. Over that, I will take, these are just random base papers, and it is more printed or anything will be on the back or front. So I'll be using it as a resource. Next, ma'am. Yeah, the same exercise. So here also I have, this is my first work on that series, which is I was start doing it on 2009, and now I am working on a larger scale of it. And the same exercises is repeated, like I tore and understand. And initially I used to tear a lot of papers and compose it, then I start sticking it. And now I have an idea like how to go with it mutually, and I form symmetries and all those stuff by visually one. Ma'am, you can go to 2009. You can click it on 2009. Yeah. You can double click on the center. Yeah. Yeah, you can go to the first work also. Thank you. So this is actually, when you close it look it very closely, you can get to see that this is a train ticket which we use it in the suburban trains. The people around Chennai could have seen this because in 2009 periods, when I used the train as a transport medium, I used to carry tickets, and every time the TT will get to check, and they will give it me back, and I will carry. So that makes me a memory. Like every journey becomes a memory. So these individual pieces are train tickets. So I carry these tickets and I go home, or even I draw it on the train. So the images there is just a random collection of landscape images in different perspectives. It's not a photo replica or something like that. I may draw the parts, routes, and collection of detritus or anything, objects or anything. So I want to see it very collectively. So I put it together as a calendaring method, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to show that way. So as a composition. Next, ma'am. Yeah, this is again the train tickets. Here I use masking tapes and ink drawings on all those tickets. So every work have a certain title, how I am replicating my journey or anything like that. Yeah, next one.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. Manju ma'am, can you please zoom this picture? Is it possible to zoom it?
You can close it down, ma'am. So it will show it in a zoom form. Yeah. And here you can change it, so you can get a detail of it. You can change it, ma'am. Like next. Okay. No, on the right end you can. Right or left end. Yeah. Right end there will be a cursor, ma'am. Here. Yeah. And you have to close that, and you have to. Yeah, you can. Here near the image, ma'am, on the right corner of the image, in the left you can see a watermark, left and right. Please don't mind, ma'am. No issues. You can go to the next image. Next image. So this is again again the train tickets, and I tried it in a minimal way. Like I have make it into pieces of the same ticket, and I composed it in a different way. Whereas I use the text also for the uh, imaging purpose. This is a different composition. This is again the same drawings on the paper. Manju ma'am, you can close on the top and you leave close on the top. The same way you come down, no? No, not on the cluster, ma'am. On the image on the right, you will see a watermark like this. And if you want to specifically show some images, you can also, yeah. In the mid, you can see some watermark. Yeah, these are generally the hologram stickers which I found on as a detritus. So this is a participatory work where I leave this board on the public place where these stickers are used mostly. So people go and start using this place, and they start putting the holograms on the wall. So I get to collect all this and as a board, as a plywood. So I put it on the wall where people participate, like they put the holograms on the board. So I collect it and I have exit-based venues. And this is more like, it is not one work, like what I am doing. It is more of a participatory work, where others also will participate on my work. And it is purely of data writers. Like it is just a throwaway of the material which you see on the bottles or hologram stickers. Next. You can go to the next year, 2009, like 2009, you can go to 2012. 12. Yeah, this is actually again a wood log, like we call it as a rubber tree, and over that I have done the jackfruit. Jackfruit is, it's a fiber made, and the tree is actual. So I've done this as an exercise of understanding how we be as a consumer. There is a lot of political interpretations and so much thought, which is very complex. I try to minimalize it and make it as a work. Next, ma'am. This is actually a site-specific installations. Like the site-specific means, like according to the site, I got a gallery. It's of a big, huge size. It's of Medical Academy. Every time I imagine a work like that, like the work should consist the space in a different way. So I had constructed a wall and I had painted the Hitler image and this text over it, and then I demolished the wall and get it into the gallery and reinstalled it. So it is purely a reinstalling process where I want to use the space in a different levels, like in a gallery view. Yeah, okay. You can show these works. Okay, these are charcoal stick, which you may have seen it, because when we burn some sticks, you find to get these charcoals. So using charcoal, I want to do a conceptual work where it talks about more of resources and how resources being damaged or it is a metaphor of conveying this. So the charcoal sticks, I collected it, and the form which I used was the inspiration of the the land, what we call it, quarry or something like that. So the aerial view of Google Earth in different perspectives, and I draw the image, and from the wood I have cut all these parts. It looked like a pond or something, and over that I was stucking this charcoal sticks. So these are of very small size, which is 2-3 mm size and length of 5 cm or something like that. So in this series, I have done like 20-25 works, which was exhibited in Bangalore and in different venues. This is again the charcoal work, but I have powdered it into different forms, and inside I have made silicon human figures. So to the human figures, I have made the same form. Next, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. I can take another 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Is that okay? Or we'll stop it?
No, sir. You can continue, sir. You can.
Okay. Thank you so much. And all these works happened happened in Swarnabhumi, where I stay. So the land, when I used to work with urban scenario, I work with different materials like train tickets and hologram stickers and all those stuff. When I moved to a different place where the vernacular, the surrounding was different, immediately I have shift to those materials which is available locally around me. So in the near to Swarnabhumi, there were many charcoal fields. Like the people who were around those places were doing this as a business. They cut down all the trees and the unwanted trees, and they will burn it, and they sell all this curry called curry. So I see very site-specific thing around my place, and I go to the places and take photographs and collect all these images around. So I get to see all these small details, and I take that as an inspiration. So I see a larger shift from the urban scenario to a village, where I stay in Chennai city, and I had moved to Swarnabhumi for the last 7 years. So Swarnabhumi, I start to think about what I can use as a renewable material around me, and I find this material as very interesting to me, and because of these colors and textures, and it conveys more metaphor over the images. So I start using those materials as into my work, and most of the students also may know all these works, because every time when I see or share, or they will be interpreting and they will be discussing on these books also. Next, ma'am. Actually, the diagrams were like earthen diagrams which I'm using. Earthen diagrams itself, if ant is moving on a sand, no, it leaves some marks. So I try to trace those marks, and I put that as that into my image, not a photocopy, and it's a kind of inspiration. So these images these lines are a replica of what a living being movements, and inside that you can see in small detail, you can see the small silicon human figures, silicon figures, where I assume the humans also the same. There is again so much of thinking in it, but visually it is two things. One is about human, and another is about the surrounding living beings, how they move around and all this. Yeah, next man. So again, the charcoal sticks. So in the charcoal, the sticks were arranged in that way where you can compare with Google all the images we see in the earthen patterns. Yeah, next one. Yeah, this is my recent work, which I have participated in Delhi Art Fair. which was a nice event. And this work is also part of from my dwelling place where I live in. And I use paddy and two circular wood, and in the mid you can see a wooden angel. And it is again a political work where the angel has been in dark, pitch dark, where I use the same charcoal as a medium. So I go collect some charcoal and I powder it, and I used it on the wood, which I use different techniques like spraying adhesives and put charcoal over it. So I want to play with the intensity also. Looking at a dark image is also is an aesthetic. So there are certain principles which I use to politicize also. So dark means it's a color and it is not dirt or something like that. So I want to use that as an image. So this is all actually the materials. I was very particular with choice with the materials also. In this you can show another work now. In 2020. You can click to the next book. Oh, it's not going. Okay. Yeah, video work not necessary. This is again a video, and you can go to next work in this map. In this itself, unrealized work. So you can click on to the next slides. Next one. Next. These are more of experimental work. I want to show some particular works. Okay, next. These are actually from the late. I found some material which have the feel of the bullets. So I made it as an installation as a time-based thing. So bullet is a thing which start from one destination to the another. So in between there is a travel like Vijayagan movie or something like that. So I want to make that as an installation where all the bullets were going towards one direction. So it's again a political work. So I installed it using threads, transparent threads. Next one. Next, you can go next. Yeah, okay. So this is a combination of again playing cards, train tickets, and all those things. It's to portray the self-portraits. Yeah, this is again the waste spoons, which was arranged in a way where these are waste spoons which I found on the plastic tins usually. So I collected it and I draw images, and it was on an exhibition. And next one. Yeah, okay. So I'll finish up with this book. So again, I have used direct materials as a object or visuals, papers, like anything. So here I have the used stain which we, when we leave some iron or anything on anywhere and it leaves a stain to the cloth or paper or any absorbent surfaces. So I want to put that as at work. So I, on the left side of the image, which is right side of the image, you can see the metal plates. So on the metal plates, I stick some wet papers. Every day I put some paper and I find different results. It's like usually doing a watercolor or spreading watercolor over a paper. So I get different results. So it was all same plates and different materials. So different same size and different days. So you get to see all the different shades and intensities. So I stuck the metal itself to that, and whereas it is just a stain of another material, so that also can be an art expression. So I use that as a texture or understanding, and it is relatively to the Google Earth or Earth subjects. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your patience due to our glens, and thank you to Manju ma'am to act accordingly. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Definitely, you never fail to inspire us with your works. So this time also you proved that you are some pro in this industry. So we are very happy to see all these works, and even I wish aspirants, even other architecture college students, you can visit our college to look some of the models which made by our students with the guidance of our artists. Sonal Ayyappan, Vijayalyan. So there are some marvelous works which is available in our campus. So you can visit it. You can check out all these models. And sir, with this presentation, we received few questions from the participants. So I just wanted to ask you with that. So most of the participants are very new to this detritus works. So their question is if they wanted to start it, what material would you suggest to start with, which is very easy to do some kind of models? So what would you suggest for that?
Okay, and it is actually don't create generally when students come into this, there were so much of commercial things like doing watercolor, oil color, that is trending, but students actually has to realize what are the things around us. So you go to your kitchen, you take a beetroot and you will get a color, but we get to see that as a stain. So the tendency is it's to accept it generally and how you accept the material. So we see waste paper, we call it waste. So the initial first term itself, it's waste. So we don't see any other form or any shape out of it when we call it as waste. So the tendency has to be like towards a material approach. You have to be very specific, like how can I use it and what, because when these kids were working in architecture, they are using all materials. They use from toothpick to anything, they matchsticks, and they are doing wonderful models out of it. So the thought, the creativity is it is not to generalize. So accept things and get it into the materials. So and you have to create a free tendency towards the work, because when you are fixed to some stigmas, you may not think wisely. So it is better to see openly, and you can get some inspirations, of course. There are so many platforms, and when you are into education sector also, you can get inspirations from the faculties and all those things. And when you choose the material, you have to do some experiments. You have to be ready with the experiments. It may fall on first 2 times, third time it will be all right.
Okay. Yes, that's a very valid answer. Sir, as you discussed about the principles in the detritus work, you mentioned the color contrast and color theories. Is there any specific principles or any kind of thumb rule for the shapes and also with the colors? Does we have anything related to that?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we have, because everything we studied, we'll study in the first year. But all those principles we can take as our own grammar and we can use it. For us, the beginning, and we can to start with, you can start with working up the images, and we can go for reviews. Like you can ask your own parents, or how is it? So the simple answer could be good or bad. So from that, we can try it again and make it better. So the simple answer is very valid. It is not good, it is not bad. So the review is very important, showing that confidently to someone and get to accept that this is not good. Okay, so we can work it out. And the principles are like you have to make a case study on it. What is lacking in the first work? Is the balance or symmetry, or is not pleasing the viewer, or anything like that? Then we can slowly improve on that. It is not a very quick process. It takes time. Like by working on, we'll get to that.
Yes. So as you said, I think our parents or maybe our siblings are the best reviewer when we do some kind of models. They would directly say, yeah, it's looking good or not, it's looking bad. So
Exactly,
yes, and
exactly.
also with Yes, sir.
Yeah, when the students are coming in, the students who are open to all these reviews will be doing the better works. So every
Exactly.
time they do something, and they may consider their best friend as the best reviewer, and they may say this is not good. So they can work it on, and they will be improving a lot.
Yes. So, does any other participant has any doubt? You can use the raise your hand option to ask your doubts.
Pratham Kumar has raised the hands. You can unmute and ask the question.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Your work was so
Yeah.
amazing, and yeah, I have one general question.
Uh,
Have you tried any of your
Yeah,
artworks with natural pigments? Like, if so, then what is the best, preservation of natural dyes and the solvent to for the lifetime of those natural dyes?
You are asking for textile or any other paper or anything
No,
like that?
no, like just the paperwork with the natural dyes.
Okay. And when we talk about the natural dyes, we have to be very clear that when we get to choose a paper or textile, no, it has to be chemical free. So there are papers with acid-free papers. So acid-free papers means generally to make it white, they may apply bleaching agents to make the paper white. So when we buy it, no, when we go to a shop and buy a paper, it is of course with bleaching properties. So when we put some natural color over it, it will bleach the natural color. So you have to get acid-free papers, and it is available online, and you can get it from the material shop. Over there, and acid-free papers, you have to ask for acid-free papers. You can use that. And in textile, again, the white cloth is of more of bleached agents. So you have to cover it. That means you have to heat excessively and wash it nicely. Then you can apply any natural color over it. And there are so many references to natural color, which is all around us. Even in lands, we can see the natural colors. Indigo, Ferra, which gives you a blue color. You can't even imagine, and which is available in nearby Swarnabhumi and all those places. And there are colors which stay along also, like which won't fade through sun or heat exposure or anything like that. So you need a little need experiments.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Katbaga. Can we have any other question?
Jabin, there is a message in the chat box. If you can read
Yes.
it.
Sir, there's another question from Madhivatana. A detritus is an object which is in decaying process. So how could we preserve the stable composition we are making from it?
The thing is, when we are not preserving it, is again more of detritus. We are throwing it off. So assume we have newspapers or train tickets. Both are same by property, because the tickets are printed on just cardboards. So to preserve it, you have to go with first you have to make it a preservable art piece. So you do some composition or painting or a collage over a wall, and you can frame it, or you can put it as a useful exhibit. So that is the best way, because we can't store it on the shelves, because that is not the way. Like upcycling is the best way to do any detritus work. Upcycling is it has to be upcycled to a visually or usefully another product. You may have seen like paper mesh trays or anything like that. It is a product, and when it's an art exhibit, also you have to preserve it. So preservation, you can use any natural adhesives and all those things. You can preserve it. Yeah, am I convincing the answer, Madhivadani? Madhivadani.
It's Madhivatana. I think you
Okay.
answered her question. Um, So there's another question from another student. The question is like, is it the detritus work is for aesthetical purpose? So can we use it for some kind of furnitures or any product which we can use it? Is it possible to make such kind of products?
Yeah. Actually, you can go to any levels, because I have shown a simple experiment which is 0.001%. There are so much of references where we can upcycle the detritus into, and mainly into architecture. You guys can explore a lot of it, but the thing is, you have to understand the property of the material and how it is. It can be used to the next level, and how it is sustaining the temperature or room temperature or something like that. That is not a big experiment, but there are so much of possibilities where we can put this into a work or aesthetical thinking.
Okay. Sir, another question. Is there any transparent glue coat available to cover the artworks?
Yes. That's a nice question, actually. So many of them asked it indirectly. There are so many mediums which is available now, and generally in industry they will call it a style coat, which is water-based, like Fevicol. It is a Fevicol. See, when you study all this is just polymer. Fevicol or tile coat is just a polymer, which is a plastic substance. So the combination, the adhesive combination to that is might be like water adhesives or PV, which is a resin based epoxy. So நீங்க ஃபெவிகாலும் கோட் பண்ணலாம். இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில வந்து வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃப் கோட் வந்து தனியா கிடைக்கும். ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ்ல யூ கேன் கெட் இட் in a separate adhesives. Generally in market, I think they were called tile coats, which they paint it over the exposed bricks. So the brick get protected. The same way any material, paper, cloth, canvases, wood, dry leaves, anything you can protect it, because it is a waterproof coat and it is washproof also. Once you coat it, it dries, you pour water over it, nothing happens. It is purely a water-based preservation of doing. And Fevicol also, you can use it as a cheaper material. In my works, I have used even Fevicols as a direct material. And the thing is, you can't use it very in a thickened way, which is available. You have to lighten it with water, pure water. Pure water means it has to be, the pH value has to be correct, or else it will damage the Fevicol. So nice drinking water to it, and you can give a lighter coat, and you can see even you can preserve a old photograph using Fevicol and water. The percentage has to be 1:10, and slowly you have to give it.
Okay.
And make sure your surface is not water soluble, because you do watercolor or poster color, you can't do a Fevicol coat. Then you have to spray something, spray the Fevicol or something. You can't use a brush. So that is the difference. When you are doing a poster preservation, you can't just apply a brush. So you have to put it on a air gun or a blower, and you can just fix it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think the question has been answered. Is there any question from any other participants? So even if you have any questions in future, you can email us your question, or you can directly call us to get your answers clarified. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sunil sir, for being patient so long and answering all our doubts. So thank you so much, sir.
And thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for the opportunity on this day. It's a special day for architecture, and thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Now I request our HOD, Professor Justin sir, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm audible enough. So,
sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm audible enough, right?
Yes.
Thank you. So, yeah, and my wishes for this World Architecture Day to my fellow members and architects, fellow architects, and even for the aspiring students. Uh, I think this day has taught us, starting with the patient levels. So anybody who is trying or aspiring to become an artist or architect has to have lots of patience, and that patience will definitely give you up with a lots of fruits, and that's what we actually saw today. So though it was an initial very slow startup, and finally we could see lots of very nice things, which would definitely inspire lots of students here. So I think students and aspiring architects, please be patient for getting a better output also. So that is my thing, and I thank Sunil Sri sir and architect artist Vijayalan, because they both are stuck with their native places where the network is slightly bad and where it is raining. So with all these issues also, they are trying to showcase the works today. Thanks for their participation. It was a very short notice that they have given them, and that's why they was slightly increased limits. So, with all that, also this complete session went on well. Thanks for the participants. Thanks for this people who are staying here. And as Javin said, like, please do. This is just a token of information. Maybe if you just visit our campuses, we could spend lot more time with you guys, and I think you can see much more better works also, because all those things cannot be shown here right now. So you can make a point and you can just visit the campus. We are available there definitely, and so let us join there only. Okay. So thanks for being here. Thanks for the participants, and thanks for the organizing team, and thanks Jimmy for coordinating. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. I request all the participants to kindly fill up the feedback form, and you will receive the feedback form to your email ID. So thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you all by next session as soon in Miras. Thank you so much.